The Mzimkhulu Magistrates Court ruled today that Skosana failed to show exceptional circumstances for his release on bail. Meanwhile, in the capital, National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola claims Police Minister Sinzo Mchunu issued the instruction to disband the KwaZulu-Natal Political Killings Task Team because he didn't believe there were politically motivated killings post-1994. Masemola is delivering his second day of testimony at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry sitting at the Bridget Mabandla Justice College in Pretoria. He referred to a meeting on March 6th in Cape Town when police management met to discuss various issues contained in Mchunu's December 31st letter, specifically instructions to disband the task team and freeze crucial posts within crime intelligence.
I asked the minister, can you provide these officers that are here? What is the reason for disbanding this political killings task team? Later in that meeting, he responded that political killings took place somewhere pre-1994 and not after.
At the same time, a report by law firm Cliff Decker Hofmeyer has found that Patriotic Alliance Deputy President Kunene was telling the truth about accompanying a young journalist when he was found by police at the home of murder-accused Katiso Katie Molefe. On the 21st of July, police raided Molefe's Sandton home and arrested him for the murders of Opa DJ Sambodi Sofoka and his two bodyguards. Following the incident, Kunene was suspended by his party and had to resign from his position as Johannesburg Transport MMC pending the finalization of the investigation against him. The PA commissioned the law firm to investigate why Kunene was at Molefe's home and whether he has any links to the controversial businessman. Tabiso Goba has more.
Kenny Kunene is the sole director of the online news website Africa News Global. The Cliff Decker Hofmeyer report says Kunene was contacted by an old acquaintance offering his news website an exclusive interview with Katiso Katie Molefe. Molefe wanted to share his side of the story regarding his arrest for the murder of Armand Swartz, a former Transnet engineer. The report says on the 21st of July, Kunene, along with the young journalist Jabulani Binase, arrived at Molefe's Sandton home ready to interview him. However, the interview never took place as police arrived and arrested Molefe. The report clarifies Binase is Kunene's nephew and has neither any journalism experience nor qualification. At the time of the incident, Binase was an intern at Kunene's news company for about 2 months. Tabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
The Greater Fochville Water Crisis Committee has given the local municipality 25 hours to restore running water to the community in Johannesburg's West Rand. Merafong Municipality Mayor Nozuko Best is meeting with frustrated residents of Kokosi at the assembly along the N12 highway. Residents shut businesses, public transport and only allowed grade 12 learners to attend classes this morning as they demonstrated over water shortages in their community. The water cuts are due to the municipality's 1.4 billion rand debt to Rand Water. The committee's Ramafala Ramatsosa says they are further demanding the resignation of the executive mayor with immediate effect.
Urgent demand for the restoration of water supply and accountable leadership in accordance with National Water Act and Water Services.
Residents say they will continue protesting until the mayor addresses the prolonged water crisis that's seen their taps run dry for close to 5 weeks. JC Gilbert says they have to use 25-litre buckets to fetch water from the local river, adding there aren't enough water trucks to supply the entire community.
The water trucks only lately, if the water trucks get there within an hour, 2 hours, the water trucks are empty and there's 300-400 people standing there to get water. So where are we supposed to get water then?
And the presidency says urgent reforms are needed to ensure the United Nations is able to enforce international law and human rights standards fairly across the board. This is part of President Cyril Ramaphosa's speech at the 80th United Nations General Assembly taking place in New York. Ramaphosa is expected to engage global leaders on international issues, including geopolitical tensions, strengthening global economic governance, and punting the G20 agenda. The meeting in New York comes amid concerns about the UN's ability to respond to shifts in the global landscape, including criticism there is a lack of effective enforcement mechanisms for General Assembly decisions. A presidency spokesperson, Vincent Magwenya, says the president's calls for reforms are important to address the challenges faced by the family of nations.
And it's not for one country to decide, but essentially we need a framework framework that is a lot more inclusive with respect to decision making. We need a framework that puts at its center the respect and adherence to international law. And we need a framework that in its inclusivity considers the development aspirations of the entire globe.
Gold's trading at $3,780.27 an ounce. The rand's at 17.30 to the dollar, at 23.37 to the pound, at 20.42 to the euro. Brent crude oil's at $66.57 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the R21 North. This is in the Kempton Park areas due to an accident right after the OR Tambo interchange, causing heavy delays, about a 20-minute hold up there. And if you're traveling in Cape Town on Ogapsavir, we've got another accident reported right after Silver Mine Road. Expect delays in both directions.
A look at your weather. Partly cloudy skies in Gauteng this afternoon with isolated showers and thunder showers expected. Temperatures are peaking at highs between 30 and 32 degrees. In the mother city, it's also partly cloudy skies there with isolated showers and rain this afternoon with fresh winds at a high of 18 degrees. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour. Former Umzimkhulu municipal manager Stanley Skosana, linked to the murder of ANC politician Cindy Somagaqa, has been denied bail.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. 702 on 92.7 and 106 FM.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app
And on DSTV channel 856.
Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. Think bigger, think Nedbank Commercial Banking.
walking this talk together.
Every hour.
Every day. This is 702.
Let's walk the talk.
I think it's fair to say we're a cynical bunch, and who's really surprised that the Patriotic Alliance's Kenny Kunene has been cleared of wrongdoing. And now Gayton McKenzie has the ANC in his sights. We'll tell you why. At the Madlanga inquiry, Police Commissioner Fani Masemola dropped a bombshell. He says Police Minister former Senzo Mchunu didn't believe political killings still exist and disbanded the KZN task team. Now, if he doesn't see what we all know, what does that mean for us? But let's end on a high. Sandparks is giving us a real treat, a full week of free entry to 21 national parks this September. I'd love to hear your thoughts as always. Send us a voice message or type us a voice message and we shall play it on air, or I shall read it out. 072 702 1702. I'm Jane Dutton in for Mandy Wiener.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently.
So Fani Masemola returns to testify before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. He's been talking since about 9:30 this morning, investigating allegations of police corruption and maladministration. Oren Singh is one of our reporters on it. And Oren, a lot of focus on the political killings task team yesterday, obviously, the same things happening today. But tell us what he said about Senzo Mchunu.
Yeah, Jane, good afternoon. A lot being said about the Minister of Police, who's on leave of absence, claiming that on several occasions when they were meant to meet in the early parts of this year to discuss the disbandments of this political killings task team, or what he terms, Fani Masemola terms, the winding down of the operations of the political killings task team, they never came to a conclusion of what the decision was around this task team. Two dates to mention, Jane. The 6th of March, they met, and that was the date after they all appeared before the Portfolio Committee in Parliament in Cape Town to discuss what is the way forward regarding this task team. The instructions being given by the Minister to disband it. What are we doing? Where does everything lie? And they don't come to a set conclusion as to what needs to happen, bearing in mind that there's a number of dockets within this task team's possession that need to now be distributed elsewhere. And so a decision on the 6th of March, or not so much a decision, but a suggestion, is that the dockets be returned to the station of origin, meaning most of the stations would be in KwaZulu-Natal, given that's where the political killings task team did most of the work. The next date is the 27th of March. They don't reach a sort of agreement on the 6th. On the 27th, they meet again, and still the same thing. They don't come to an agreement as to what needs to happen around the STARS team, the winding down operations, or where the dockets need to go to. So a lot around now, there's 121 dockets that have been the focal points of this discussion, the focal points of Mkonazi's allegations on the 6th of July, and where they were meant to go and be distributed to, and who was meant to be in charge of them.
I know there were a few contradictions flagged yesterday. How's it looking today?
Still, I wouldn't say contradictions today, but a lack of clarity from the side of the National Police Minister. We saw Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga intervene on several occasions, trying to seek more clarity. There has been some, I think, issues around some of the evidence or testimony that he's presented. He's gotten a couple of dates wrong. He's gotten a couple of people in terms of emails, who the emails went to and were sent from. He's gotten that a bit wrong. So they sought to seek clarity from him on those points. But I think the point that must be come across at this stage, Jane, is that it's clear. It's clear for anyone that's been following, as we have from Wednesday last week, that these two factions are within SAPS and are trying to gun for control over crime intelligence. And what does crime intelligence have at their disposal, Jane? That all Secret Service slush fund. That slush fund, which is not public knowledge as to how much is within that slush fund that can be used for essentially anything and can't be pinned down to alleged corruption or collusion. The slush fund essentially is not known to public in terms of how much they keep within that fund or what it's used for. And so this is coming out more clearly as we hear more people testify that there is a war within SAPS over the sludge fund and who's going to head up crime intelligence.
Gosh, I mean, we hear so many fights, don't we? But it's not about doing a better job or improving security services. It's about getting hands on all of that money out there. I believe it's going to end a little bit earlier today. After him, who's next?
We are expecting Masimola to conclude his testimony today. Thereafter, we are wrapped up and done for the day. He is the second person to testify after Provincial Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkonazi. We're not expecting anyone to start their testimony today, Jane. We are expecting just to wrap up around 2 or so. Okay. And then Wednesday, of course, tomorrow's Heritage Day, so the Commission is not sitting. But on Thursday, we're expecting a legal expert to take the hot seat and kind of maybe unravel a lot of what we've heard from Mkonazi and Masimola up to the stage.
Okay, Oren, I'm going to let you go. We're going to play some of Fani Masimola's comments about Senzo Mchunu and the success of the PKTT.
These dockets increased the work of the PKTT, so the minister could pick it up. And he got angry that instead of the work going down, the work was going up. And it was explained that it's because of this very same case docket, which the district commissioner the local POP members arrested 2 people for possession of a firearm. And the district commissioner suspected that maybe these people might be linked to the killing of the councillor. And he phoned the PKTT to come and take over the investigation. And after they done that, they were able to link both ballistically the firearm as well as the suspect to the murder of this councillor. So, well, the minister was angry for that. It was quite strange.
Okay, what was strange about it, before I ask you the question?
Okay, no, it's quite strange it was first in my career to see a minister angry that police have done a good job. Because here, police have arrested somebody that is linked to the killing of a councillor. And he was angry and that they took over this docket. They didn't make the arrest. Yes, we agree with him. They did not make the initial arrest of the people for possession of firearm. That was done by the local POP. But the PKTT was able to do further investigation, and they linked the suspect to the murder of this councillor. So that made him angry, and it made the meeting end up abruptly, and he said he will only talk to me and not talk to Kumal and the rest. And yes, that what surprised me was exactly that how would you be angry when police did what they're supposed to do? So that I couldn't ask anybody as to why, but that remained boggled my mind forever.
And I'm just wondering if that boggles your mind, hearing something like that, a police getting angry over a success. So I want to hear from you on that. And also, what do you think about Oren's comments about how this really is a battle to get hands on the crime intelligence slush funds? Our number 072 702 1702.
Because this journey is better taken together.
Let's walk the talk. 702.
All right, let's stay with the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, but just move it on a little bit. Now that Mkhwanazi, the KZN Provincial Police Commissioner, has completed this part, or his part of the evidence at the inquiry. Remember, he kicked it off starting Wednesday last week. He's going to appear before Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating the same thing. Our EWN reporter, Babalo Ndenze, is on this story. So he's expected to appear before Parliament's ad hoc committee on Tuesday, I believe. Why?
Yes. Good afternoon, Jay. No, he's not appearing on Tuesday. What the committee will do on Tuesday afternoon when they meet again is to basically receive a progress report on the witness consultations,
right,
as well as the preparations for the actual hearings themselves. And at the last meeting, the evidence leader, Advocate Norman Arendse, did indicate that Mkhwanazi would not be able to speak to the committee orally, before he's concluded his testimony at the Madlanga Commission, which happened last week. So he indicated that it might be early October when they actually have to speak to him, because they need, I think, a period of about 7 days to process each submission, with the members going through every submission before they can actually speak to the people physically. So it looks like an early October hearing from Mkhwanazi, but Tuesday will also discuss, other dates for other possible witnesses. And at the last meeting, Mkhwanazi actually indicated to the committee that due to his commitment to the Madlanga Commission, he is unavailable until the 24th of September. Now, the 24th of September is tomorrow, and it looks like the committee will have to basically process, his submission or his written documentation, as well as any other attachments to that, until next week, Tuesday, when they meet, and then they will decide on an exact date of when, the Provincial Commission of KZN will be appearing before the committee. Is the material witness. They were urged by other members to maybe move on to another witness while they wait for Mkhwanazi. But the committee, I think, unanimously disagreed against this, saying that no, he has to be the first one. Just like at the Judicial Commission, he must also be the first witness here. So on Tuesday, we definitely will have a date on when Mkhwanazi will make his first appearance before Parliament.
So any names?
As far as witnesses are concerned, yes, there is a list of about 7 names that was agreed upon by the committee. This is obviously Mkhwanazi and the National Commissioner Fanny Masemola, and I expect the sequence will be similar to the Judicial Commission. It will be Mkhwanazi, then Masemola as the National Commissioner, and then this former Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, the one who's under a leave of absence, and the Deputy National Commissioner Shadrack Sibia is also confirmed on that list. Acting Police Minister Professor Firoz Kachalia, the members also want to speak to him, and the 2 Deputy Ministers, that's Deputy Minister Kasal Matale and Deputy Police Minister Poli Boshielo. But Becky Cele was also added into that list at a later stage as the former minister, because of all these reports that you've heard in the media of his close ties to one of the people that are being, implicated in all this influence and police corruption, etc. As well as, maybe other members might be added at a later stage. I'm thinking members of Parliament, Fadil Adams, who was named by the minister, by the Provincial Commission, I beg your pardon, as well as another member of the committee was also named, by the provincial commissioner, Diane Kohler Barnard, who's also actually a member of the ad hoc committee itself. So it looks like they might have to also discuss, further additions to that witness list at the Tuesday meeting as well, and, get an idea of when these people will appear, because they've also invited the public to make submissions, and the public had until the 17th of September, which was last week sometime, and they're also calling on the members of the public organizations, civic organizations, crime forums from around the country that want to make submissions on relevant information. It can't just be any random piece of information. It has to be relevant to the terms of reference, and these submissions will also be discussed. And I imagine these organizations and individuals who do make these submissions as members of the public or crime experts will also at some stage come forward to make oral representations at the hearings, Jane.
So we might see the police minister, Senzo Mchunu, appearing there before he appears before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Obviously, that hasn't been confirmed if he is going to appear at all. Thank you very much for that, Pablo Ndenze. Real growth needs more than just banking, and Nedbank Commercial Banking is your growth partner. Their team of industry experts understand your business and its potential, offering insight to help you see opportunity where others see obstacles. Because when you can see what others don't, you can do what others can't. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Every wall tells a story. Now, yours can be told with elegance, resilience, and colours designed to last. A creation rooted in heritage, perfected for today. The wait is over. The finest has arrived. Discover the finest now on promotion from 24 September to 12 October only at Chamberlain. Your space, your colour, our finest paint yet. Chamberlain, famous for hardware since 1903.
Tani Esther, or should I say the Tupperware Tani? How's business going?
Business is booming. I've been operating out of the boot of my car for 10 years, but shame, it couldn't keep up with my growing empire.
Okay, so you sold it to We Buy Cars?
Yes, quick. Sold my old one, bought a bigger one. I even sold some of my Tupperware to the friendly guy who picked up my car.
Stick to what you know best, eh, Tani?
Excuse me?
Never mind. We Buy Cars. Geared for your business, geared for you.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a nervous but excited first-time driver waiting for the perfect gap to switch lanes.
I can do this.
The pressure. The Outsurance pointsman know it's not just a car in traffic. It's a sense of freedom and independence on the move. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Walking this talk together.
Every hour.
Every day. This is 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Good afternoon, Jane. I think when Senzo Mchunu does make an appearance at the commission, he needs to be pressed on this issue as to why would he be so angry at the success of the PKTT. Who is he protecting, and again, who is this person that was arrested and he was so angry that he's been caught. He needs to be pressed on this issue.
I agree with you. It's gobsmacking, isn't it? Especially in this country, you should be celebrating this sort of success. So comments there about the police minister being rather angry at the success of the task team, the killing task team. So a legal report by Cliff Decker Hoffman has cleared suspended Patriotic Alliance Deputy President Kenny Kunene of wrongdoing. Kunene was suspended in July after being found at the home of alleged underworld boss Katiso Molefe, who was arrested for allegedly masterminding DJ Sambodi's 2022 murder. Tabiso Goba's on the story for us. So should we be surprised?
Not too much, but I would say that the law firm that the Patriotic Alliance commissioned, Cliff Decker Hoffman, is a very reputable law firm.
Yes.
It was commissioned to investigate sort of the circumstances around why Kenny Kunene was there at Katiso Molefe's home when he was arrested, and also if whether Kenny Kunene has any links to KT Molefe. Now, the law firm was obviously given 30 days, which obviously is not a lot of time to actually do sort of like those deep dive investigations. But they did, release a report, and they released it yesterday. Basically, the report, as you said, it clears Kenny Kunene of any wrongdoing.
But what was their remit? What did they focus on?
They did a lot of interviews because Kenny Kunene said he was there accompanying a young journalist to Molefe's house for an exclusive interview with Molefe. Now, before Molefe was arrested for DJ Somebody's murder, he was also arrested for the killing of a Transnet engineer from Vereeniging, Mr. Armand Swart. So Molefe wanted to give his side of the story. There was an intermediary who isn't named in the report, who allegedly intermediated the relationship or the meeting between Molefe and Kenny Kunene. Now, we know Kenny Kunene has an online news website. So Kenny Kunene, along with this young journalist, Mr. Jabulani Binase, they go to Molefe's home ready to interview him, and shortly after they get to his home, the police arrive and they arrest Molefe. Now, what do we know about this young journalist? This young journalist works for Kenny Kunene's news website company, Africa News Global. He's also Kenny Kunene's nephew, and the report says that he has no journalism experience and he doesn't even have any qualifications in journalism. And during the time of the incident, he'd only been interning at the news company for about 2 months. Now, the Patriotic Alliance leader, Gayton McKenzie, held a Facebook Live last night reacting to the news, and this is what he had to say.
I'm not even faced because I know the DP is innocent. Eugene sent me a note here to say they say that his story corroborates. So the DP is innocent. They investigated, they interviewed people. You'll read for yourself. I'm giving it to the Patriotic Alliance members. And this is where you will get your news, when they write stuff about you. So to the DP, I want to say to you, I'm so happy. Our DP, my brother, my friend, my co-leader, thank you. The DP has been found that his story checks out. So Liam will resign tonight as a councillor because he's moving to Cape Town.
All right. So, and now, emboldened by this action, the Patriotic Alliance is threatening to pull out of every coalition it has with the ANC if Kunene is not reinstated to his job at Johannesburg MMC for transport.
Yes, so what actually motivated this threat by the Patriotic Alliance is that on the last bit of that audio, you hear that Gayton McKenzie talks about Liam resigning. That's Liam Jacobs, the young politician who defected from the DA and joined the Patriotic Alliance. Liam Jacobs was supposed to replace Mr. Kenny Kunene as the MMC for transports in Johannesburg. However, the mayor, who has obviously the sole prerogative of appointing MMCs, Mr. Dada Morero, he never appointed Liam. There was a standoff for about a month, and we do understand that Dada Morero obviously had reservations about Liam's experience, Liam being only 24 and not having any governance experience. So that obviously created a number of problems between the Patriotic Alliance and the ANC. Now that's what motivated the threat by Gayton McKenzie, saying that now that Kenny Kunene has been cleared, there's no reason for Dada Morero to not reinstate him to his job as the MMC for transports. And lastly, Jane, I would say that if I was the ANC, I'd probably take the PA seriously, because the only reason we have an ANC-led coalition in Johannesburg is because the PA, remember, they used to be with the DA, with the mayor, Dr. Mpho Phalatse. However, there were issues with them, and they jumped ship from the DA to the ANC. So the PA has shown that it can jump ship and it will live coalition at any moment that they stop working out for them. So,
and they've given the ANC 7 days.
Yes, they've given the ANC.
Probably don't have to wait that long.
They've given the ANC 7 days. Mr. Gayton McKenzie said that by next week, Monday, if Kenny Kunene is not the MMC for transport, they are going to pull out of every coalition they have with the ANC. Interestingly enough, he never mentioned the GNU. He just said local government coalition. So we'll see what happens over the next few days.
All right, thanks very much for that. And I'd love to know what you think about Kenny Kunene being cleared and the threat leveled at the ANC. If you don't accept him back at the job, we are going to break our relationship with you. It's 12:30. Time for the news headlines.
Thanks, Jane. Good afternoon. National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola claims Police Minister Senzo Mchunu issued the instruction to disband the KwaZulu-Natal Political Killings Task Team because he didn't believe there were politically motivated killings post-1994. Masemola is delivering his second day of testimony at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry sitting at the Bridget Mabandla Justice College in Pretoria. Basic Education Minister Siviwe Kwagube has warned Operation Dudula members they will face the full might of the law if they disrupt schools. After spending the past couple of weeks blocking foreign nationals from accessing public healthcare facilities, Operation Dudula has now shifted its attention to public schools. Yesterday, the organization visited several schools in Soweto and dropped off memorandums saying they must stop enrolling undocumented foreign pupils. And the Greater Fochville Water Crisis Committee has given the local municipality 25 hours to restore running water to the community in Johannesburg's West Rand. Merafong Municipality Mayor Nozuko Best is meeting with frustrated residents of Kokosi at the assembly along the N12 highway. Residents shut businesses, public transport, and only allowed grade 12 learners to attend classes this morning as they demonstrated over water shortages in their communities. Those are the headlines. This Eyewitness News and more at 1 o'clock.
EWN Sport.
Good afternoon, I'm Tolagile Mganga. The Springbok Match Day 23 for their Rugby Championship clash against Argentina on Saturday will be announced this afternoon, with the double world champions looking to build on their comprehensive 43-10 win over New Zealand. Andre Esterhuizen has discussed the challenge that faces them against the Los Pumas.
It's always going to be a physical battle. They've come a very long way in the way they play. They've got a lot of flair. They take a lot of their opportunities, especially with loose ball in the air, playing a lot of turnovers, and they've got special players that can make special things happen. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a tight game, especially a hard battle up front. But, yeah, like I said, whoever takes care of the ball the most, obviously win the aerial battle, and the loose balls around that will come out on top.
PSG winger Ousmane Dembele won the Ballon d'Or as a reward for his starring role in the club's maiden UEFA Champions League triumph last season, while Spain's Anatia Bonmatia claimed the women's prize for a third year in a row. Lamine Yamal won the Copper Trophy for a second year in a row, which was handed to the best player aged under 21. And selected calling knockout round of 16 ties will see Orlando Pirates up against Welele. Mamelodi Sundowns welcome Marumo Gallants, while Kaizer Chiefs have been paired with Stellenbosch. With no clarity on Nazruddin Nabi's position, Brandon Peterson has discussed how the players are coping with the uncertainty.
At the end of the day, this is the nature of football, you know. Coaches come and coaches go, players come, players go. You can't dwell too much on that. Obviously, it's not nice to lose a coach. At the end of the day, we have a job at hand, you know. We have fixtures to look forward to. We can't dwell on what's been happening. You know, for us is to stay focused, you know. We have a goal in mind, and it's for us to go and perform to the best of our ability every game, every opportunity we get.
Tolagile Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
While travelling in Kempton Park, that accident that was on the R21 North has been cleared. Traffic is now flowing coming out of the OR Tambo interchange, while on the N3 North, delays between Van Buren Road and the Girulis interchange. There's also queuing traffic along the N3 North between Marlborough Drive and the Baklu turnoff. This is due to roadworks taking place between these 2 points. Otherwise, travelling on the M1 South, do expect more traffic volumes between Grayston Drive and Glenhove Road due to more roadworks along the route. And there's also queuing traffic along the N12 West towards the R558 heading towards the Protea Glen area, and that's due to the faulty traffic lights at that turn off. If you're traveling in Cape Town at this particular moment, we've got an accident reported on Oakapsever. It's right after Silver Mine Road. Do expect delays in both directions, while another one is reported on the N1 inbound at Okavango Road. The right lane is closed. Do expect delays there. Otherwise, in Khayelitsha, traffic lights are out of order at Steve Biko and Jafta Kema Semola Road. And on the elevated freeway, we've got roadworks taking place right after in the left lane, so do expect queuing traffic there. More updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Selling your car shouldn't be a mission. We Buy Cars gets it. Life's short and time's precious. Get an offer online and sell your car within a day from wherever it suits you. It's really that simple with We Buy Cars. Shopping for your new ride? Discover thousands of vehicles online or in store. We Buy Cars, South Africa's trusted way to buy and sell cars.
Every day, South Africans are being squeezed to make ends meet. That's why they're Still Good, a new online platform where you can save up to 65% on groceries by buying Still Good value bags, packed with groceries by leading retailers that are still perfectly good, just close to their sell-by date. You win by saving, retailers win by cutting food waste, and communities win as Still Good donates 10% of their earnings to food charities. Visit stillgood.co.za. Start getting more bang for your buck with Still Good.
What does extraordinary mean to you? Is it factories and warehouses that run themselves or monitoring your assets in real time? Vodacom Business has connected more than 11.1 million IoT devices to enable smarter business, AI, cloud, enterprise apps, IoT and security. One seamless ecosystem. Search Vodacom Business IoT. Together, let's build the extraordinary. Vodacom Business. Further together.
Insurance pulls you in. Pineapple pulls you under. Insurance. Pineapple. Insurance. Pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Because this journey is better taken together.
Let's walk the talk. 702.
Hi, Jane. This is why you cannot trust Gayton McKenzie and the Patriotic Alliance. It's all about position, all about money and power. They do nothing for the actual people that vote for them. But hey, who knows what happens next with Mr. Gayton McKenzie. Reg from Plumstead.
Very good afternoon to you. I'm Jane Dutton. I'm in for Mandy Wiener. Thank you very much for your voice notes. If you want to send more, the number's 072 702 1702. So there's been major movement today in the murder case of ANC councillor Sindiso Magaka. Prosecutors allege the former municipal manager, Zweli Panzi Sikosana, ordered the hit through his cousin. He has now been denied bail. Nhlanhla Mbaso is on the story. Talk us through what happened.
Well, it was a very brief appearance, Jane, here at the Umzimkhulu Magistrates Court. Former municipal manager Stanley Sikosana was back in the dock. You'd recall that he was rearrested in July by the political clearance task team who placed the charges of the murder of Sindiso Magaka. You'd recall that he was arrested in 2018 but was released due to insufficient evidence along then Mayor Mluleki Ndobe. But the political task team working on this case again says it has overwhelming evidence that he was in fact the mastermind behind this killing. But also he was implicated by Sibusiso Ngcengwa, who pleaded guilty to the charges and then was sentenced in this regard. But he was linked to one of the hitmen in the matter, and that he is cousin to that particular hitman. Today in court, the magistrate said he failed to prove that his release on bail would be in the interest of justice. He also failed to prove exceptional circumstances for his release on bail, because he gave reasons that he's a breadwinner, that he has to provide for his children, and that since he's been fired now, because the Cooperative Governance Department has confirmed that the municipality in which he was working for now has indeed fired him after his arrest in this particular matter. Well, the court says that's not exceptional circumstance that he has to feed his family, and therefore denied bail. He will now appear on the 6th of October with the two other accused in the Pietermaritzburg High Court when the trial in the matter of case of Sindiso Magaka resumes next month.
Okay, sentencing today in the Durban High Court of the man convicted of 2 murders, including that of the former municipal manager of Richmond, Sibusiso Sithole, who was shot and killed in March 2017. What have you heard from there?
Well, the that convicted murderer, that's Sabelo Pewa, he's now been sentenced to double life imprisonment and 20 years behind bars. You'd recall that the first murder he committed weeks before shooting and killing Sithole. He shot and killed Amos Ngobo in the Hillcrest area west of Durban in February 2017. He was then apprehended by police, and then police are making a case that when they approached him to arrest him, he also opened fire. That's why he was then charged with the attempted murder of police officers. For that particular case, He was given 5 years imprisonment, but also the possession of unlicensed firearm. He was given 15 years, and unlawful possession of ammunition was also given five years, which now makes 20 years in the double life sentence. But the political task team working on this case has been praised by the police, thanking the team of rather skilled investigators for their investigations, but also their dedication in this. Both the judgment and the sentence today, Jane, mark victory for the political task team, which has, for years, said that it's been working hard to ensure that these cases get solved. Now the focus will shift, Jane, to the Howick Magistrates Court, where we expect a similar judgment in the bail application of Inkosi Simphiwe Eric Zuma, who is charged with the murder of DA Councillor Madlanga Commission, who was shot and killed in December 2023.
Sanhla Mabaso, thank you for that.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 and Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently.
Let's go over to Merafong, where residents there have been protesting over water outages. They say that they haven't had water for more than a month and it turned violent. Our reporter, Tando Ngobo, is there. Tando, tell us what happened.
Yes, Jane. Today we're here in the West Rand, where Kokosi residents, a township here in Foxville, they have been without water, they claim, for over a month. Now, this stems from Rand Water's cuts due to the municipality, the local Merafong municipality, owing it 1.4 billion in debt, billion rand in debt. So the residents today, they took to the streets. They are saying they were demanding for the mayor and the premier to meet them to sign the memorandum of grievances. But Jane, I want us to have a listen on what are some of the residents have been going through since they've been contending with dry taps for all these weeks.
Urgent demand for the restoration of water supply and accountable leadership in accordance with National Water Act and Water Services.
All right.
That was...
Yep.
Yes,
Go ahead,
Jane.
Sandra.
That was the crisis committee's Rafamala, who was reading the memorandum of grievances at this point. This is when the executive mayor, Nozuko Best, had reached the station, the assembly point along the N12 highway here, and the crisis committee, along with the residents present, they were reading the memorandum of demands for addressing the mayor. They had given them 25 hours to settle this water issue, Jane, that they have been contending with. And they have also called for her resignation. They are saying that if water is not restored into their homes by tomorrow, they are back on the streets, shutting down again public transport, closing schools, closing businesses.
Gosh, it really is a desperate situation, isn't it? And so many communities affected by this. And obviously, the fact that police respond with violence, where does this leave them? Other than, as you say, back on the streets tomorrow.
Yes, so the issue the police had with the residents, they said that they had blocked the N12 highway and they were demanding them to either move forward with their march or go back to Kokosi Township, but they weren't allowing them to block the highway, hence why police earlier on fired rubber bullets and tear gas at the protesting residents. However, the residents did comply. They moved along the R500, and that is where they stayed until the executive mayor met them, and they handed her the memorandum of demands, which she signed and promised to restore the water within the given time frame.
All right. I suspect unless they get their way, we'll be talking to you about this again tomorrow. Tando Nkobe, thank you.
The Fine Fragrance Sale is back, 24 to 28 September. Enjoy up to 50% off on selected fine fragrance brands, plus amazing deals on makeup and skincare products. Get down to the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit. Don't miss your chance to score unbeatable prices on top international fragrance and cosmetic brands. The sale ends on the 28th of September. See you there.
You know those finfluencers, the kind of bros making bank in Bali, calling themselves Forex gurus, promising you can make money while you sleep if you just buy their course. But then you end up losing sleep, waking up for different market openings, checking charts, scanning the members-only group chat for signals, and you start wondering, why do they call it day trading when you're spending all night spending your money to make money, only to realize that they make their money selling courses on how to make money. Oh. When you can't trust overnight wins, trust 30 years of market-beating returns.
Coronation. Trust is earned. Coronation is an authorized FSP.
You've reached in his Renault Duster en route to Dullstrom. This journey is taking to try a sport far more boring than its name might suggest. Fly. Fishing. He'll be in his Renault Duster, which he bought with 40,000 Rand trade-in assistance.
Leave it all behind in the new Renault Duster. With 40,000 Rand trade-in assistance. Offer exclusive to Renault Financial Services. Product of APSA. T's and C's apply.
Walking this talk together.
Every hour.
Every day. This is 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Hi, Jane and the team. If it is true that Molefe wanted to give his side of the story, why he didn't use the mainstream media than using a digital platform with less penetration? Thanks, David.
Very good point, and the fact that politicians have their own news websites. Let's go to the story now. Basic Education Minister Siviwe Gwarube says 10,000 early childhood centres have now been registered. That's apparently 3 months ahead of schedule. It's part of the Bana Pella campaign, which gives centres access to subsidies and teaching materials. On the line with us is Terence Kala, Media Relations Specialist, Department of Basic Education. A very good afternoon to you. This is pretty significant, right?
Indeed it is. Good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to share this fantastic news with the nation.
Tell us more about it. 10,000 early childhood centres have been registered. What do they do? What does it mean?
Indeed, I think it's quite important for us to be able to have reached this significant milestone. One of the more important and significant pillars of the 7th administration has been early childhood development and really making sure that we bring in early learning programs of quality. This is important because obviously early childhood development is central to us being able to make sure that we can claw back and provide a significant base for all learners, young people across South Africa, to be able to have access firstly to early learning programs, and secondly just improve the overall quality of teaching and learning that we can provide. This comes from a variety of international benchmark tests that we've done, one very recently being the Thrive by 5, that really does show us that more significant input needs to be made at the earlier years of learning. And what that will allow us to do is to create a really strong foundational base for us to be able to then cascade further learning programs onto learners and not have to do so much at the stages. So it really is significant for us. It's powerful because it means that every child across the country can now get closer to being able to actually attain some or other early learning program and in the quality foundations of early childhood development.
Okay, what are the practical benefits of these centres and the children getting once they are formally registered? How will it work?
Thank you so much. I think that's a powerful point to mention. I think what's important to note is that registration allows all of our centers to start gaining access, firstly, to subsidies, but secondly, access to learning materials, but also access to a standardized curriculum, but also a quality base for them to actually be able to then find uniformity within the early childhood development space. So for us, registering firstly means that we are aware of the center, that is bronze registration, where we can at least be able to understand what the center is requiring, and then we can be able to cascade them up to silver registration, where they can then start to gain access to the daily subsidy, to gain access to the learning materials. And the idea is for us to make sure that we can make sure that every early learning center across the country finds uniformity, whether it's in Matatiele in the Eastern Cape or out here in Oudtshoorn in the Western Cape. They have a standardized form of instruction, but also have infrastructure and as well as access to quality teachers. Because what's important is that we have quality practitioners at early childhood development level. And for us to be able to ensure that we can bring that training to teachers, we firstly need to be aware of them. We need to know that the center is registered. But secondly, we can be able to do an audit of what requirements those practitioners require, so that we can really bring them to a level where they can be able to have quality learning within those spaces.
I'd love to get visuals of that. It'll be lovely to see. And I mean, this problem, it's a big problem. Something like 80% of young children still struggle with literacy. It is something that has to be tackled now. It's bad.
Most certainly. And I think we do definitely believe that with us having this early childhood development drive, making sure that we put such an extreme focus on ECD, it'll allow us to be able to once again make sure that we can improve the early learning programs. And what has been shown by research is that more access to quality learning and foundational learning at an earlier stage gives learners a better base for them to be able to deal with the more cognitive aspects that they need to as they continue to grow. So giving every child across South Africa a quality base for them to be able to push on and learn and be able to achieve and attain the best possible quality of basic education is certainly something that the sector has put itself behind, and we definitely will continue as led and guided by the minister, but with our strategic partners as well, in making sure that we can really bring early childhood development to every corner of this country.
Thank you for talking us through it. Terence Kala, Media Relations Specialist, Department of Basic Education.
Because this journey is better taken together.
Let's walk the talk. 702.
I promised you some good news at the beginning of the program, and we're delivering on that promise. The South African National Parks has announced that 21 national parks will grant free access to visitors in September for a period of a week. It's not often that we get handed a freebie. It's very exciting. Let's bring in JP Lowe, Head of Communications from Sand Parks. Good afternoon to you. Tell us why this is happening, what it is that we can see.
Thanks, Jenny. And certainly it's exciting even for us on our part. Look, at the core of it, it's really about making the national parks accessible to South Africans in particular, more so also to our communities that are adjacent to our national parks. You know, ordinarily, if you want to go to a national park, you would have to pay what we call a conservation fee. We don't really charge an entrance fee. And so you go there, and it depends where you want to go. I mean, it's like national parks in 7 different provinces. You would know that just the climate and the weather patterns in all of these different parks is different.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds
World
of
in
things
one country,
you
they
can
say.
do. Yeah, it's quite a variety.
Okay, so all right, tell us more about what we can see and how we can take advantage of this. What would you recommend? How should we go about it? Do we just rock up and not have to pay?
It's a bit unfair for me to say where to go in terms of recommendation. Right now,
how do we
I'm at
find
the
out
Golden
which
Gate.
parks are free?
Yeah, go to www.sunparks.org. But I was just saying, like, now I'm in Golden Gate Highlands National Park. There's the Dinosaur Interpretive Center. You could come in here to come and experience a history of over 200 years. To learn that in South Africa, we had dinosaurs here. That time long ago, we even found dinosaur eggs here. I think the only in the world you can find. You go to Kruger. There are all kinds of activities you can do there. You go to wilderness. There's the casual canoeing, mountain bike fun you can do. There's the auto trail. You could still also go on into Tshikamma. So there's all kinds of activities you could do. What I must emphasize, though,
Okay, hold on a sec. Let me jump in the auto trail, if you don't mind. And I ask this question selfishly because I'd love to do it. I know it's really hard to get on it. So is there a period now where anyone can be there? I know it takes years to book.
No. I mean, we will, of course, open bookings at particular moments. I don't have that specific detail for you now, but we would advertise that it is very popular.
Yes.
At any given time that we open the booking, it just goes really quick to be filled. So, when that time comes, we'll make sure that you're informed. And maybe one day I'll take you along.
Okay.
And I feel fit enough to do this trip.
You've got lots of people listening to that promise, and I take you up on it. Obviously, accommodation and all of that kind of stuff is not free.
Of course, yes. This is a day pass, so it means just for the day. If you're going to decide to stay for 2-3 days, you're going to have to pay for that. And also, if you do other activities in the park, you may have to pay for those as well. But yes, things like accommodation, you need to pay for if you decide to stay in the park longer than a day.
Can you imagine something like this is so important for sand parks, for conservation in this country, for people getting out there and seeing how beautiful South Africa is, what it is that we got to offer?
It certainly is. The theme we've been talking to now for a while is what's called inclusive conservation. So we are trajectorying towards a future. We've been talking of this strategy we call Vision 2040. So we are sort of like pushing ahead towards this future where we want an increased number of people having a sense of ownership over our conservation. You know what, Sun Parks Week, in fact, it started about 20 years ago, and those days there was like just about under 10,000 people who would visit the parks. Right now, last year's figure was putting us at about 100,000, just under 100,000 actually. So it seems to us that there's quite an interest in this, and that's why we're doing it every September. September, by the way, is Heritage Month, and what we are taking care of in national parks is your natural and cultural heritage as well. So
now,
we
Sand
think
Parks has got a good reputation.
Quite appropriate.
Tell me, how many people are you expecting?
Well, look, like I said, that our target, or rather the numbers we reached last year, is just over 90,000, just under 100,000. I would be happy if we break the limit of 100,000, but I don't want to commit ourselves fully to it, but I'd really be happy if we broke that number this year.
Yes, well, let's hope a lot of people listening are going to take you up on the offer, and the one that you made to me, JP Lowe, Head of Communication, Sand Parks. I wish you the best of luck, and thank you for opening up 21 national parks. As JP Lowe said, just get onto their website and find out which ones are free for a day. Real growth needs more than just banking, and Nedbank Commercial Banking is your growth partner. Their team of industry experts understand your business and its potential, offering insight to help you see opportunity where others see obstacles. Because when you can see what others don't, you can do what others can't. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Dis-Chem has the best deals just for you, with everything you need on your healthy living journey. Buy 3, get the cheapest free on the Future Life range for nutrient-rich meals for the whole family. Get 2+1 cheapest free on all delicious traditionally baked Alet's rusks, and save 20% on Primal Apple Cider Vinegar 120 capsules to boost your metabolism. Offers valid until 19 October at Dis-Chem, your healthy living destination. Better health starts here.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a work commuter. She's done this route 1,000 times. Perhaps she's daydreaming of a different job or just counting down to the weekend. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just another car in traffic. It's anticipation on the move. Every story's different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Walking this talk together.
Every hour.
Every day. This is 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Good day, Jane. The decision about from Gayton Mackenzie about Mr. Kenny Kunene, it strikes me as politicians behaving like 2-year-olds going through the terrible twos, the tantrums. If you don't do this, then our political environment is so hostile right now.
That's very funny. The terrible twos. Yes, I mean, we have certainly some interesting politicians and interesting games. We've been hearing about the police minister Mkhunu being angry about the success of the political killing task team, the fact that there is a war in SAPS with all sides trying to get their hands on crime intelligence slush fund money. That's come out of the inquiry. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more. They're not sitting tomorrow, but they'll be back again on Thursday. And don't forget, there's a TV wrap of everything you've heard. It's out at 8 o'clock every single evening on Eyewitness News. And in isiZulu, it's 7 o'clock. I'm Jane Dutton. It's 1 o'clock. Time for the news. And the Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking.
This is EWN.
National Police Commissioner claims Minister Mkhulu believed politically motivated killings ended 30 years ago, and Merafong Municipality Mayor receives memorandum of demands from Kokosi residents. Good afternoon, I'm Maki Molapo. National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola claims Police Minister Senzo Mkhunu issued the instruction to disband the KwaZulu-Natal Political Killings Task Team because he didn't believe there were politically motivated killings post-1994. Masemola is delivering his second day of testimony at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, sitting at the Bridget Mabandla Justice College in Pretoria. He referred to a meeting on March 6th in Cape Town when police management met to discuss various issues contained in Mkhunu's December 31st letter, specifically instructions to disband the task team and freeze crucial posts within crime intelligence.
I asked the minister, can you provide these officers that are here, what is the reason for disbanding this political killings task team? Later in that meeting, he responded that political killings took place somewhere pre-1994 and not after.
Meanwhile, in KwaZulu-Natal, former Umzimkhulu municipal manager Stanley Skosana will stand trial next month for the murder of slain former ANC Youth League Secretary General Cindy Somagaqa. Skosana was denied bail in the Umzimkhulu Magistrates Court this morning. He was rearrested by the Political Killings Task Team in July this year. Magaqa was shot execution-style kilometers from his home in July 2017. The state in the case previously argued that it had overwhelming evidence that Stanley Skosana was the mastermind behind Magaqa's killing. NPA spokesperson Natasha Ramkin-Sunkara.
A bail was denied to Mr. Skosana in the Umzimkhulu Magistrates Court today. In handing down the judgment, the presiding officer found that he did not prove exceptional circumstances to be released on bail, and further the court found that the defense did not show that the release on bail will be in the interest of justice.
Skosana will join his two co-accused when trial resumes in the Pietermaritzburg High Court on October 6th. Fochville Executive Mayor Nozuko Best says her office will try to respond to residents' demands for the immediate restoration of water within the given time frame of 25 hours. Kokosi Township residents in Johannesburg's West Rand took to the streets, marching from the township to the N12 highway this morning. The community has had dry taps for weeks, with residents forced to fetch water from the local river. Tandulu Ngcobo is in the West Rand.
Fochville Executive Mayor Nozuko Best